Namaste, everyone. My name is Stella Mainali, and I am your moderator for today. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the 52nd session of today's Tech Webinar Series. The Tech Webinar Series aims to build a strong online technical community to drive development within Nepal and among its people. It fills my heart to see so many Nepalese joining us from Nepal and around the world. And also a big hello to everyone who is joining us live from Tech Webinars Facebook page. So, आजको हाम्रो topic, leveraging the diaspora for Nepal. This topic is something that hits close to home for many of us, right? But before we dive into the session, I want to ask you a few questions. When was the last time you considered how your contribution could impact your country and your community, no matter where you are in the world? Have you ever thought about the power of collaboration and coming together to achieve something greater than just ourselves? We all have the power to make a difference, and it's essential to harness that power and collaborate to create an exponential impact. And that's the reason why we are here today. Today, we will be discussing how the Nepali diaspora can leverage their expertise, resources, and network to support fellow Nepalese and invest in Nepali startups. And we are so thrilled and honored to have with us today Ms. Preeti Adhikary, the founder of the Great Nepali Diaspora. And today she will share with us her wealth of expertise and experiences in building a community of exceptional global Nepali talent. Ms. Preeti's bio speaks volumes about her wealth of experience and achievements in various sectors, from tech startups to banking to nonprofits. And honestly, I have been a huge admirer of her works. And just like I was having a conversation with her before our webinar streamed live, I've been following her updates on LinkedIn, and it's amazing how she has been working tirelessly to build a network of Nepali professionals around the world with the aim of fostering collaboration and promoting growth in Nepal's startup ecosystem globally. Talking more about the Great Nepali Diaspora, it has 40 chapters and growing, with presence in major US cities like New York, San Francisco, Boston, Washington, DC, along with countries like Japan and Switzerland. Ms. Preeti Adhikary has had an impressive career in various sectors, such as tech startups, banking, nonprofits, and has over 15 years of experience. Most recently, she completed a degree in advanced management from Yale University and worked at Innovations for Poverty Action, where she helped scale a mask project to Nepal and various Asian countries to reach 100 million people. She is also a venture partner with several venture capital funds like Gannis, Sweater, and Republic. She recently launched a virtual startup incubator called Nepal Venture Studio to bring in experts and mentors to support global Nepali entrepreneurs. Today, Preeti ma'am will be sharing with us her insights on the diaspora and its value, both in general and for startups. She will also be discussing best practices on how to engage the diaspora. I would like to encourage all our active and enthusiastic participants to actively participate in the session and ask a lot of questions to Preeti ma'am as soon as her presentation is over. This is a great opportunity to learn from one of the most respected professionals in the Nepali diaspora. So let's kickstart this webinar with enthusiasm and passion as we delve into the topic of leveraging the diaspora for Nepal's growth. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Preeti Adhikary. Let us come together and learn from Preeti ma'am's wealth of knowledge and experience. I will leave the floor to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Stella, for that very, very kind introduction, and Jayaji for organizing this. Namaste. Thank you, everybody who's joining on Zoom and on Facebook. मेरो नाम Preeti Adhikary ho, and I'm hoping to share some of the things I've learned. म expert होइन केही कुरामा पनि, तर I'm hoping मैले जे learn गरेको छु as a student or working professional in the US, and now as the founder of the Great Nepali Diaspora, I can share with everybody. And मेरो आज स्वर अलिकति it's going to sound a little weird, मलाई अलिकति allergies भइरहेछ, तर you know, this is not supposed to be a lecture. This is supposed to be very interactive, very engaging. So I have very simple slides that I'll go through. तर केही questions any comments, feedback केही छ भने please feel free to interrupt. Chat my questions हाल्नुहोस्, and Stella and Jeji can can let me know, and I'm happy to answer them. Hi. So let's get started. Let me actually bring up. So as a good topic is leveraging the diaspora for Nepal, and this is something that is very, very important. Oiliko context ma jhanjan body important, and this is something that I'm super passionate about. So I'm happy to share your information with everybody. Just a quick note before I forget, most 90% of the slides that I have today is from one of our community leaders, Deepa Dahal, who's in Seattle. She did this amazing presentation with everything we've done at TGND, or the Great Nepali Diaspora. So त्यसमा मैले few things matra add गर्नु परेछ. So if Deepa is watching, thank you so much, Deepa, for this. Next, I'll just start off really simple in terms of, आजकल more and more we hear the word diaspora, what it means भनेर हैन. So this is like a general description of what it is. Basically, diaspora is, एउटा country of origin, home of origin, बाट people that have spread across different regions. But हाम्रो context when we think about the Nepali diaspora, it means Nepalis that are outside Nepal. That's the simple definition मैले use गरे, that's used most often, हैन. In terms of diaspora को value, there's a lot of things, हैन. So normal context we only hear about a few things. जस्तो diaspora ले बाहिर गएर they're doing well, they can invest in Nepal भनेर सुनिन्छ. तर what I'd like to really stress on is that हामीले diaspora-लाई still एकदमै underestimate गरिरहेछौँ. There is so much value that can be leveraged in terms of technical expertise, in terms of networks, in terms of exposure. अनि यो चाहिँ one way मात्रै पनि हैन के. नेपालमा भएको expertise, नेपालमा भएको talent पनि र यहाँ बाहिर whether it's US or anywhere around the world, त्यो knowledge transfer, त्यो networks, त्यो exposure हामीले open up गर्न सक्यौं भने, I think that will be the best thing for our diaspora as well as Nepal. So about who we are, TGND, Pansomani, the Great Nepali Diaspora, एकदमै लामो, अलि corny, अलिकति cheesy नाम छ, तर it's for a reason, हैन. Basically, it's a community of exceptional global Nepali talent that aims to nurture connection, collaboration, and camaraderie to create impact at scale. त्यो भने चाहिँ के हो भने we're not treating ourselves as, we're not underestimating ourselves. We're not saying, oh, हामी ठिकै. We always complain about being between India and China, and all the complaints that we have, all the bad luck we have and so on. तर going forward, TGN established गरेदेखि नै, we've been on a very positive track in terms of हाम्रो identity पनि. We take it very positively. We see ourselves as exceptional, and we are connecting so that we can make impact individual level ma haina ki, on a larger scale bhanera. That's the plan. Stella gave an amazing introduction about me. So मैले मेरो धेरै भन्नु पर्दैन. I am based in New Jersey अहिले, and I've lived all over the world. Nepal baik, Canada, Singapore अनि अहिले US मा अनि one of the things that मैले गर्न खोजे पनि my experience of living in different countries, different societies, different economies बाट हैन र त्यसको one big common thread चाहिँ के छ भने good ideas, good talent, मान्छेहरू driven, intelligent चाहिँ संसारभरि हुन्छ हरेक प्लेसमा हैन तर opportunities are so different. The opportunities I have यहाँ न्युयोर्कनिर बसेर to meet somebody in New York and get connected is so different than other places हैन अनि हामी यो the Great Nepali Diaspora बाट गर्न खोजे one of the things is also that how do we open up access to people that are not necessarily in places like New York or Singapore or things like that. यो चाहिँ अब how I got started भनेर I started 7 months ago अनि this is something that especially यो हाम्रो अहिले audience मा watch गरिरहनु भए especially कोही चाहिँ entrepreneurs हुनुहुन्छ भने I'm sure you can relate to this, right? You always find a problem जुन तपाईलाई solve गर्नु मन छ that you've seen आफ्नो professional life मा या personal life मा and so on. And these are problems that I saw that मैले experience गरेको थिएँ and I really wanted to solve. हैन त्यो भने चाहिँ कस्तो भने जस्तो for example नेपालीहरुको हाम्रो एकदमै strong social connections छ हामी अब साथीहरु या family मा एकदमै strong हुन्छ तर professionally हामी त्यस्तो strong छैनौं हामी we never really talk about कामको hurdlesहरु कसरी एकअर्कालाई uplift गर्ने भनेर कसरी एकअर्कालाई help गर्ने support गर्ने भनेर ideas share गरेर त्यसलाई कसरी ठुलो पार्ने भनेर we're still getting there, we're not there yet हैन अनि next चाहिँ हाम्रो networksहरु एकदम fragmented र dispersed छ त्यो भने चाहिँ के भने even within Nepal or बाहिर हैन we're in अब आफ्नो स्कुल कलेज कहाँ पढ्यो सो त्यसकै alumni base भयो या चाहिँ अब तिमी कुन सेक्टरमा छौ whether it's IT or whether you're a doctor and so on त्यो हाम्रो networks are very fragmented अब हामीले US कै context मा हेर्यो भने there are so many amazing Nepali organizations हरु हैन तर उहाँहरु चाहिँ either they're based एउटा कुनै लोकेसन मा हुन्छ न्युयोर्क या बोस्टन या केमा हुन्छ or they focus on some different things there is no one platform to connect everybody all Nepalis in Nepal and outside हैन अनि त्यसले के भइराछ भने हाम्रो कम्युनिकेसन हरु ल्याक गरिराछ ट्रान्सपेरेन्सी छैन I mean just as an example मैले COVID को बेलामा I worked on a project नेपालको मा पनि and different other countries in South Asia and so on. What I realized is Nepali of course the number one thing on any Nepali ko mind ma is to help Nepal हैन that's something that is a given तर because हामीहरुको बीचमा communication राम्रो छैन transparency राम्रो छैन as simple as COVID को बेलामा नेपालमा के सामान पठाउने where do we need to come together complementary skills कसरी use गर्ने त्यो we were lacking and I could see a big difference between how other diasporas were doing it versus us and it felt like we were wasting a lot of time and resources by not being connected. Number 4 saying it's something I'm realizing more and more हैन जस्तो नेपालीहरुले चाहिँ all different sectors मा चाहिँ they've done amazing things तर what's happening is once they're successful unless unless a few exceptions that are alikiti in the media and so on a lot of them को चाहिँ हामीले नाम पनि सुने हुँदैन त्यो individual को नाम पनि सुने हुँदैन and उनीहरुको company what they do के पनि सुने हुँदैन it's they're just not out at all हैन त्यो hidden भइराछ र त्यसले गर्दा again we're losing in terms of that inspiration in terms of that guidance in terms of that mentorship. And the last one again I'm super passionate about this all of this hurts women even more हैन अनि women लाई चाहिँ अझ गाह्रो छ there's also one more or few more layers that sort of hurts women in general. यो चाहिँ हाम्रो official launch August 2022 मा you can see it was on Zoom and so on and one wonderful experience. People from different parts of the world came in. The Great Nepali Diaspora बनाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ, while I started with the idea, it has grown because मान्छेहरू सबैले support गरेको छ. मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ, everybody has felt like we needed this भनेर, that has been the reason it has grown. अनि shared vision चाहिँ in terms of our community मा चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने, हामीले चाहिँ step 1, अघि जयजी asked me अलिकति earlier in terms of our diaspora भने त नेपालीहरू, नेपाल बाहिरको नेपाली मात्रै हो. How do we actually help Nepal? Are you doing anything for Nepal भनेर? I'm sure यसको बारेमा अलिकति क्वेशन्सहरू पनि पछि आउँछ होला. तर हामीले के सोचिरहेको छौँ भने, एकैचोटि all Nepalis around the world गर्दाखेरि के हुन्छ भने, I think कति कुराहरू confusing, कति कुराहरू चाहिँ chaotic पनि हुन्छ. So हाम्रो vision, long term vision को हिसाबले चाहिँ कसरी छ भने, where can we bring the most value, right? एउटा step 1 and step 2 को हिसाबले सोच्दाखेरि, step 1 is नेपाल बाहिर भएको नेपालीहरूको लाई चाहिँ connect गराउने. किन भन्दा, because there is this shared lived experience, हैन? त्यो नेपाल छोडेर गएको good and bad experience हुन्छ, right? त्यो homesickness, त्यो family बाट टाढा हुनु पर्यो, a lot of growing up we have to do as we leave Nepal, हैन? नेपालको जस्तो comfortable family सँग बस्या जस्तो हुँदैन, and so on, हैन? So त्यो सबै shared experience बाट connect गरेर, then we figure out, okay, हामीले कसरी चाहिँ राम्ररी help गर्न मिल्छ नेपालमा, हैन? त्यो सोचेर, and we find these ways. त्यो एकदमै के पनि प्लान नगरेर, like okay, let's just help Nepal भनेर त्यो आइडिया मात्रैले it doesn't work, हैन? We have to be really intentional, and म यो intentional भन्ने word चाहिँ अलिकति युज गर्छु. त्यो भने चाहिँ के भने, के गर्दाखेरि पनि it has to make sense. It has to have a logic behind it. You can't just do आफ्नो मनमा भएको राम्रो intention त्यो मात्रैले पनि doesn't work, हैन? त्यो अलिकति, it has to be a well thought out plan, and so on. So that's what we're trying to do, हैन? In terms of TGND मा चाहिँ we want to be that one platform where we can do everything, हैन? The important ones say I'll mention here. Mentorship, हैन? Because नेपालीहरू in general कोमा चाहिँ mentorship को एकदमै need छ. There is a lack of mentorship. त्यो पनि proper हिसाबको not just checklist हिसाबको mentorship हैन कि actually कसरी help गर्न मिल्छ भनेर त्यसको बारेमा, हैन? Next, say investments and fundraising. But this is something that we're still building out, and so on. But we've seen very good Samako experience has been amazing in terms of what we see. And I think over time, this part is going to be super important. But next is dialogue. Dialogue bhanale talking about everything that is important in Nepal ko context, hamro diaspora ko context. But just as an example, hamro we used to have this conversations around even about what does it mean to be a Nepali oileko context ma 2023 ma Nepali bhaneko, what does it mean to you, especially people that are not even living in Nepal. हाम्रो evolve कसरी भइरहेछ identity. We've done a few series with women in terms of about Nepali women को context कस्तो change भइरहेछ. How are we, balancing everything in life? How are we balancing these gender roles? देखिन सबै कुराहरू. There's a lot of things happening around partnerships, and I'll share a few examples पछि in terms of how that's working, हैन? But more than anything else, these kind of things look good on a presentation. But मेरो लागि चाहिँ on a personal level, what's been super important is to have this safe space, right? For Nepaliharuकै बीचमा पनि there is so much diversity, right? Not just gender मात्रै पनि हैन कि in terms of the sub communities we belong to, in terms of what we do, and so on, हैन? So TGND, it is a safe space for every Nepali that's outside Nepal. basically, हैन? Every background ko, every domain ko, there is no, kun caste, kun ke, there is nothing like that. It is a place where there is mutual respect for people that are from Nepal, that have very different experiences and so on. Ani within the Great Nepali Diaspora, अघि मैले भने जस्तै, right? We have so much diversity in terms of हाम्रो ethnicity देखि सबै कुरामा, हैन? तर अर्को diversity is also in terms of नेपालीहरुको interest level मा, right? Because पहिला would be, every Nepali would be an doctor or engineer, हैन? तर अहिले like we're everything, and we want to have a home for every Nepali that is interested in different things, हैन? त्यो अनुसार I think we can do much better in terms of better personalized गर्न, तिम्रो experience देखि help कसरी गर्ने भनेर. So we have these hubs भन्छौं हामी in terms of people that are interested in different things and so on. But data science is, as you know, data science is super important in general, and in Nepali usma pani there is a lot of interest pani, talent pani cha, potential cha, and so on. So we've done a lot of events around data science, from hiring managers harusanga dekhin experts harusanga conversation dekhin all of that. Creatives bhane चाहिँ it's people that are authors, poets, and people that are exploring that have a way with words and so on, हैन? अनि this is something that is we just started last week, and it's incredible in terms of Nepaliहरुकै people that are all over the world, Australia, North America, and so on, that are writing these amazing poems and children's books and other books, and यो incredible space भइराछ, हैन? But PhD hub भनेको चाहिँ a lot of Nepalis tend to do PhDs, and are thinking about PhDs. And before I forget, one sort of thing I really love is PhD Hub has become something where हामी चाहिँ नेपालमै भएको नेपालीहरु र बाहिरकोलाई चाहिँ अहिले already connect गर्न थालेका छौं. So as an example, we've started this mentorship matching program, right? Where चाहिँ the mentees are नेपालमै भएको या बाहिर भएको नेपालीहरु that are thinking about doing a PhD, maybe 1-2 वर्षमा, and so on. And उनीहरुको mentors are people that have done PhDs, that are already established and so on. So last couple of months we've been matching them properly and so on, and we've matched them so that your students are, as they think about PhD गर्ने कि नगर्ने, कहाँ गर्ने, के सब्जेक्टमा गर्ने, कसरी, how do you go about it, आफुलाई best possibly कसरी त्यो you can position yourself the best. The mentorship is going to be super exciting. So your program ko, I'm very excited about it. Public policy ko, again, one thing that I'll mention here, no, हामी start गरेदेखि, I think last year August ma launch गरेदेखि, and even before that there are two things that I have been very intentional about, very stubborn about, हैन? त्यो चाहिँ दुईटा कुरा छ. एउटा चाहिँ the Great Nepali Diaspora is not political. त्यो भने चाहिँ के हो भने people can have your affinities, हैन? Politics is a big part of how we are, हाम्रो कसरी life देखि, economy देखि, a lot of things are affected by it, हैन? And people will have affinities, and that's completely fine. What we don't want is मान्छेहरुले त्यो आफ्नो differences, political differences ल्याएर चाहिँ they divide us. So that's something that we've been very day one देखि, that's something that has been like a big thing for us, हैन? अनि अर्को चाहिँ TGND is not salesy. त्यो भने चाहिँ के हो भने we want collaboration, we want partnership, so we sort of are moving towards that. तर what we don't want is एकअर्कालाई spam गर्ने के हुन्छ नि, like, oh, this is what I'm trying to sell, this is what I'm trying to do भनेर एकअर्कालाई spam मात्रै गर्ने, unprofessional हुने, हैन? So we're teaching teaching भन्दा पनि we're actually learning together as Nepalis how to properly network, how to like have long-term professional relationships. त्यो गरिरहेछौँ हैन. तर with the public policy hub, what we realized is politics ma involved nabhae pani, as the diaspora, I think we also have a responsibility and this amazing potential to really make policy recommendations. संसार भरिको best practices हरु सोचेर त्यो insights हरु सोचेर कसरी गर्ने भनेर. So we launched the public policy hub last month. अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ एउटा book discussion पनि गरेका थियौं. Kulchandra Gautamji, who is such, you know, unknown personality in terms of UN को top level मा पुगिसक्नु भएको मान्छे हैन. So उहाँको book discussion बाट we started it. It was amazing. Like उहाँले पनि he joined us on Zoom and it was an amazing conversation. अनि यो public policy को hub बाट चाहिँ that's what we're hoping to do, right? In terms of how do you have dialogues without really fighting, without actually constructive dialogue कसरी गर्ने भनेर, that's the hope, हैन. Your young professionals को चाहिँ it is anyone that is you know, college student देखि early career professionals and so on. अनि हामीले यसमा चाहिँ गर्न खोजेको के भने people need a lot of help, right? Internships को लागि, full time jobs खोज्नको लागि, अब jobs मै पनि in terms of how do you sort of plan your growth देखि सबै कुराको, there's so much that's needed. अनि नेपालबाट आउने बित्तिकै it's so hard to figure things out, right? It's not easy, हैन. अनि हामीले गर्न खोजेको चाहिँ how do we support our, you know, young professionals so that they you know, अब job खोजिरहेको बेलामा they get help, they get reference, they get you know, more seasoned मान्छेहरुले चाहिँ professionalsहरुले उनीहरुलाई कसरी help गर्ने भनेर so we're doing that. Next चाहिँ women's hub. Again, very, very, very important, in terms of having that safe space for women to not just talk, but think about actionable items, in thinking about how do we really progress as Nepali women, having our cultural ties that are still, you know, balancing matra haina ki acing our professional and family lives, haina. So we had some discussions earlier. Hamro yo May ma we actually have some events with you know, female Nepali coaches. That's going to be super exciting. So we're building programs for that. Entrepreneurs ko, there's a reason I put it for the last, is because that's something again ekdamai important and something that is you know, dear to my heart. Malai you know, मेरो work experience ma the biggest chunk has been with tech startups around the world, हैन. And that's something that I strongly believe can really impact an economy and have a domino effect in society, हैन. So we've been doing a lot of events around Entrepreneurs Hub and so on. So last year, as soon as we started, we actually had a few pitch events where Nepali founders anywhere based in Nepal or here or even in Canada, they could actually come to the platform on a pitch to the community. Again, very safe space ma. And what the entrepreneurs, what the founders got out of it was, you know, kati times ma they got partnerships, collaboration, kati times ma they got investment. So this has been really exciting in terms of the entrepreneurs, like कसरी support गर्ने भनेर. Ani again, I had mentioned in terms of diaspora ko role or diaspora ko benefit ma चाहिँ, we only think about investment, we think about, okay, Nepal ma startups छ अनि बाहिरबाट पैसा आउँछ भनेर. We don't think about the technical expertise thing, okay, right? And I think that's going to be super, super important, because मेरो experience कस्तो छ भने, you know, पैसा, the capital is obviously important, हैन. तर as you grow, you need experts to help you think, okay, Nepal ma, even if you like do well as a startup, how do you think about going regional? How do you think about making your startup a global startup? अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ it's not just money that makes the difference. You need people that have done things like that have the experience of leading incredible companies, that know what product market fit is, that know what go to market is, business model canvas, all of those kind of things, होइन? So एउटा exciting thing चाहिँ what's happening is with the community, we're building this community of experts that have led amazing tech companies, that have, done exits, that have done, incredible things. And मलाई exciting लाग्ने चाहिँ we're now able to plug them in, होइन? अनि अघि Stella also talked about the incubator we have. So that's something that took a lot of months of planning, but that again has been so exciting. So within your Entrepreneurs Hub, we have something called Nepal Venture Studio, which is a virtual incubator, 12-week go, and we have we have 4 teams that are, some based in Nepal and some around US based mostly, होइन? And यसको exciting के छ भने we've been able to bring in Nepali and non-Nepali experts from around the world to help these startups, whether it's regarding product management or fundraising or anything like that. And in 2 weeks, we actually have a demo day for them. अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ we will have tons of outside investors coming in to support these founders, which is so exciting. अघि मैले भनेको जस्तै, the whole point is to open up access, to give exposure to people in and outside Nepal, and that's what we're doing, and that's what is super exciting about everything. By the way, Mo, I'm presenting that if there are any questions, Stella, Jaji, please let me know, hey?
Hunsa, ma'am.
Us. In terms of Great Nepali Diaspora, again, why do people join us? To do all of these things. There's so much need to do so many things, नयाँ initiatives के build गर्न मिल्छ, होइन? So people are joining us to do all of that, whether the people are now taking on leadership roles, होइन? Data science hub बनाउने भन्यो, women's hub बनाउने भयो. It's all volunteers within the community that are coming up with different ideas and taking that forward. Your second is really important, होइन? Intentional networking that I had mentioned is exactly that. Networking is not transactional. Networking cannot be, okay, can you find me a job? Can you do this? How do you build relationships so that all of this gets easier? Finding jobs, they can, career growth, they can, finding partners for your startups. They can, harek kura becomes alikiti easier because you're doing networking in a proper way. Third, say, आफ्नो cultural identity maintain गरेर still professional goals achieve गर्ने. That's what we're hoping for our members, that now more and more people are comfortable, especially, and I'm talking about people that are outside Nepal, of embracing their Nepaliness and the good that comes out of it, and also being the best they can at their jobs or whatever they're doing, cross-border knowledge transfer, again, very important, and we're hoping more and more हामीले चाहिँ त्यो facilitate गर्न मिल्छ. अनि last चाहिँ network effect for the community. What that means is हामी foundation lay गरिरहेछौँ, होइन? I think the best part is yet to come in terms of your ideas, your platform later. What are people going to do it? How are people going to leverage the platform? I think that's going to be the best part of it. Some testimonials. We had somebody, Ruby, that actually got a job through the community. This is a picture. I did a keynote at Nepali Women's Entrepreneurship and Leadership Summit. I mean, just the fact that we have a Nepali Women's Summit in the US actually just blows my mind. And this is exactly what I shared over there, right? That Nepali haru chai, as much as I love momos, we have a lot of momo parties that are no mentorship parties. We don't really talk about things that actually matter, right? That needs to happen. We need a professional platform for our global Nepali platform community. That's something that that I really believe in. मैले अघि त्यो नेपाल भेन्चर स्टुडियो इन्क्युबेटरको उ गरेको थिएँ त्यसमा we have amazing mentors that you will see here as well. मैले चाहिँ next most of the next slides are very एकदम कम text छ, it's just images and so on, so that I can just share what's happening भनेर हैन. In terms of experts, they're either based in Nepal or outside. There are incredible people. Baldai, as you know, doesn't need an introduction in terms of how much he's achieved with Tomil.com and so on, and he continues to innovate and so on. So Hamra founders have had one-on-one access to people like him, and I'm so grateful in terms of that. This is something that we launched last year, and I think this is again a very good way to do knowledge transfer. You say visiting diaspora talk series where say about everybody that is outside Nepal tries to visit once a year or so. Most people. When they're visiting Nepal, how do we create communication so that they are able to share their expertise, they can meet people in person and do domain expertise share garna milsa bhanera. And this is Pema Sherpa, who studied in Harvard and talks about meditation and wellness and all of it, and she's incredible. So we were able to do this program with CNI-YEF last year, and has been incredible. Just a poster from one of our data science talks. March the International Women's History Month Bakobara. We had all sorry, is there a question?
No, ma'am, not yet. We are just encouraging everyone to be ready with their questions because we'll be opening the floor afterwards.
Sure,
so,
sounds good.
Yes, you may continue, please.
So you can see, what's exciting is, when we do these events now, there's not just Nepalis that are, being a part of it, right? In terms of panelists and so on, you can see there. And also, if you look at how impressive Nepali men and women are in terms of the kind of things they're doing, the kind of positions they're holding and so on. Upcoming events, we've done 30 events so far in 7 months. More than half of it has been in person, all over the world and so on. So there's a lot of things happening. The best way to sort of be updated about what's happening is our LinkedIn group, LinkedIn page. There's there's obviously a lot of things happening, and in person of course it's based location and so on. It's the Zoom events are always open to people in Nepal. So if there's anything that you want to be a part of, please join us. You would say I'll just share some pictures. This is in Seattle. We're recently looking for some ambassadors from different universities and different organizations in the US and so on. So these are people that, again, will be our young leaders and, really champion and connect Nepalis. And this is a fun sort of, I get really fun testimonials from people in terms of, TGND and so on. So this was... I think this is so fun in terms of, dance, daru ra dangdung nabhako Nepali event bhanera. That's what people said. Now I'll share just a little bit in terms of how much we've grown and, maybe share a little bit about our chapters. This is the first 23 that are now we have 40. You can see that most of the US, most of the states are covered. Asia, we have Dubai and Singapore and South Korea and Japan. There's a chapter in Rwanda, Poland, Switzerland, Germany, Australia. So it's incredible. Your diaspora mapping project is something that is ambitious and incredible that I'm so proud of the team for. You say basically ke bhane bhane, basically at this point nobody really has the most updated information in terms of our diaspora, हैन? Nepali we just have estimates and the estimates are wrong. Nepali कहाँ छ, के गरिरहेछ, how are we growing, how are we becoming stronger, हामी कुन उसमा चाहिँ locations मा more concentrated छौं, कुन industries मा more concentrated छौं, there is no up-to-date information. So we have this task force within TGND that is doing this diaspora mapping project. What we're hoping is this is like and we sort of are monitoring this on a weekly basis. But we hope that very soon we'll be able to see dots around the world, and Nepalis are almost all over the world, so it'll be really interesting to see and share. Again, हाम्रो chapter leaders this is some pictures from events in San Francisco, another chapter leader Seattle ma. I talked about your Nepal Venture Studio and investment and so on. So Nishal has been an early member of the community. Nepal Tea Collective, on his social enterprise, he's the founder and so on. Usko, he did a pitch event with us, and I think Usko fundraising goal, 90% of the money actually came from our community. So that is so exciting for all of us. Hamro Japan co-chapter leader, this is in Canada. This is Dubai ko Sakshi, who is incredible. This is Vancouver in Canada. Another one of our venture studio experts, Rupu, who's at Amazon, senior product manager, super incredible experience, and I think one common factor between all our experts, all our mentors, is that they want to help, हैन? पहिला के भइरहेको थियो भने I think that the difference was Nepaliहरू always want to contribute, they always want to give back to the community. तर कति times there was no one platform. People didn't know, okay, if somebody knows has a lot of experience in product management, तर नेपालमा कसलाई त्यो help चाहिरहेछ, कसरी help दिने, there was no way to see it, okay? Unless you knew somebody and so on. So now we're hoping that experts like Rupu can actually contribute, and actually we can track all of that. This is again the Nepali Entrepreneurship and Leadership Summit. I mean, you can see so many incredible Nepali women leaders there. Mata, it was just this amazing experience for me to see so many Nepali women that have accomplished so much and are comfortable, whether in a sari or in a pantsuit or anything like that, right? So love that we're comfortable in anything and we're ready to take on the world. New York, we have two chapter leaders, Pratiksha, who's at Goldman Sachs, and she's incredible. We have a podcast. We recently started it again to share stories of Nepalis that have, obviously made it, that are successful. But we want to showcase their, stories of success as well as struggle and so on. So Sam, especially if you're a startup founder, I'm sure you've heard of Sam Thapalia, amazing person, amazing entrepreneur and so on. So, stories like these, I think people like these need to be showcased, and that's what we're doing with everything, including the podcast. This is DC. Washington, DC has one of the most vibrant communities for us. Every event is 100+ people that actually show up. So incredible. So this is Jitendra in Germany, our chapter leader. It's just some of the faces that we have so many more than half of our chapter leaders are women. Women are leading hubs, women are volunteering, women are just Nepali women are doing incredible things. And I'm super excited, super thrilled about it. हाम्रो data science one of our panelists, Prabisha. This is in New York. This is actually one of the first in-person events we actually did last year. You can see हाम्रो Consulate General is here, such a great mix of people and wonderful experience. TGND Meets Ma, again, this is Nirnay, who is in LinkedIn. Incredible story, incredible experience, and incredible, I think, human being. So, we're excited. Esto khalko Nepaliहरूलाई चाहिँ we can really showcase them. Just some examples. Another testimonial, Roshni is a dear friend. Ani, she's also a personal investment professional and so on. So usko pani in terms of what TGND go through, what has benefited her, as well as how she's been able to give back to the community. Bhanera, just a testimonial. These are Vancouver. Again, with the podcast is all about sharing those stories. Ehsan is another, the second chapter leader in New York. Just an event picture. These are just, I thought it would be so much easier to just talk about, show pictures than, just randomly talk about stuff. Podcast ma Chanda Thapa, who's again one of my dearest friends. She has her own law office in New York City, and she works in immigration and so on, and is incredible. Nirdesh, I'm sure people in Nepal know him. He usko Veda app bhanne startup cha, and he actually did pitch to the community as well, and it's helped. You would say, again, pictures from New York. Suman, I don't know how many people know him, but he's an incredible entrepreneur based in Houston, Texas. PhD garisakya. I mean, he has, I think, 18 patents. His company has raised over $110 million, and he has incredible experience. He's an amazing mentor. So for, again, with our incubator and even in general with the community, it's experts like these that are, so accessible, that can just, get on a call with you and help you and so on. So I think this is such an incredible thing. This was another. So even within TGND, in-person events are super important, I think, everywhere, right? Kati kuraharo, Zoom is so efficient. I'm able to do this on Zoom. But there is this amazing thing that in-person interaction brings, and we sort of, at the local levels, in-person events ma focus garchau. And in big cities, say there is like a women's group pani, because there needs to be safe spaces for women to just be there, event, and talk about their, goods and bads, right? And we really help each other out and, mentor each other and, give suggestions and things like that. Another one of our mentors, who is, again, incredible. Pratyush is one of the very few Nepali founders that actually went through Y Combinator. If you, if you're in the startup space, you definitely know what that is. Y Combinator is, probably the world's best accelerator, incubator. Companies like Uber and Airbnb and things like that actually went through it. Pratyush is even more special because there's a even smaller percentage of nonprofits that have gone through the YC program. Pratyush is one of them. Usko nonprofit works in Nigeria and so on, and he's based in the US. His company has raised over $170 million, which is incredible, and they've helped hundreds of thousands of families and so on. So it does amazing work. Hamra podcast ko Bikol is a serial entrepreneur based in Colorado. He usko first company bara they did an amazing exit, and now he's helping with a lot of startups. He is actually, Bikol and I co-lead the Nepal Venture Studio Incubator, and he's an incredible resource, through his experience. so even in Poland, we have Nepalis, and there's a good group of Nepali women as well. So this was for, I think, the Women's Day celebration. We have experts like this, Priyanka, who for the data science program. This is one of our volunteers, Bikram, who in Vancouver, who is incredible, and he's helping with our diaspora mapping survey. Neeraj is another. He's an engineer based around Chicago, and again is an amazing volunteer. With TGND Beats, हामीले गौरिकालाई पनि we showcased her. She doesn't need an introduction for Nepalis, right, in terms of what she's achieved and so on. But what we wanted to showcase is that there are so many different, definitions of success, right? It's not just because, again, I love doctors and engineers that are not just because you are a doctor or engineer, or the metrics around success in terms of what that means and what the industry or needs to change, right? We need to really, be really cheer our other Nepalis and their accomplishments. And, obviously Gaurika is incredible in terms of what she has been able to achieve, not just Nepali context, but a global landscape, mai pani. It has been incredible. Some testimonials, people, for most people, they say that TGND feels like they're part of home, and that's why they want to contribute. If you're watching, still, I know it's a few weeks away, but it's still, happy Nepali New Year. In terms of, how to connect, 40 chapters around the world, LinkedIn we have amazing follower count, Slack and WhatsApp. So we have over 1,000 members that we can count, and then thousands more that actually attend our events. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us today. And I also encourage all our participants to turn your videos on, and let's shout our love and appreciation to Preeti ma'am for her time and the way she educated us and took us through the journey of the Great Nepali Diaspora, especially your leadership and dedication to creating meaningful and intentional ways to build a community of global Nepali talent. It's truly inspiring. What I also loved was your emphasis on mentorships, investments, dialogues, partnerships, and creating a safe and nurturing space for the diaspora to collaborate and contribute. I think that has really given us all a lot to think about, and I'm sure these experiences and insights will continue to resonate with us even after this session. Definitely, ma'am. Today is just the first day, and we look forward to being in touch with you and collaborating and connecting to better ourselves as well as our community. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a good day, ma'am. And to all our Nepalese in Nepal, have a good evening, rest well, and we'll see you in the next event of Tech Webinar Series. Thank you.